You sound very far away.
Maybe that's because I am very far away. So, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm a bit nasally. I woke up with full-blown flu this morning, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Great day for recording. I should probably get our sexy show notes doc up here.
Ooh, yes.
I don't have my show notes in front of me, so I'm feeling very lost.
For once, I actually do have the coda in front of me instead of just my normal notepad. So we'll see how this goes.
So how are you finding Coda so far?
Remember last time when we said you've been busy? Yeah, this is a new level of busy.
Yeah.
The activity has been a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm finding that I actually like it. Today, someone linked me a very similar product in one of our Slack groups, and I promptly replied, "Hey, check out this Coda thing. It's like what you linked, only better." And I got a round of applause from the gentleman. So props to Coda for giving me props, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, Coda's great. I'm enjoying it a lot. There's another. I don't know. Have you heard of Notion?
I have not.
Yeah, there's also another one called Notion.io, I think, or Notion HQ. They're on Twitter, if I remember correctly. But it's a similar kind of thing. They just went heavier on the customizing layouts of the document, so it's a lot more templating. They do have the table and formula stuff as well, but Coda is just next level.
Especially some of the sort of code you had to write for the buttons. We had to have do a whole bunch of cool things.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, though. I was enjoying it a lot. I was maybe enjoying it a little bit too much.
We should probably also mention that the reason you spent such an incredible amount of time on it is Coda is having a competition along with the guys from Product Hunt, and it's themed around a no-code competition, basically. So it's to try and see what's the most useful / cool / interesting document people can come up with, or solutions they can come up with. And we decided that it might be a good idea to put that Coda doc that you've been working so hard on into the competition. I tried to bring my side, but I think that would have been humanly impossible, as your Coda skills is very next level.
No, it's not that bad, man. No, you're
Have you seen this document?
Well, have you seen some of the other entries?
No, I haven't really had a look, but I assume they are vastly inferior in every single way.
No, there are some really nice entries, I must say. I learned quite a few nice tricks from some of the other people. Some stuff I might be adopting into our doc in the future. I've been holding off because I don't want to do it during the competition. That feels like cheating.
Yeah.
Feels like stealing.
Yeah.
And also time, because I sank a lot of time into this. So I had to take a step back and just say, well, I have to consider this done now. For the time being.
I'm happy with the document we have. It's extremely usable and it suits so many of our needs that I think it would be really difficult to go without it now that we have it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to try and help more with it, but life got in the way. First I was in the middle of nowhere, and then I was somewhere, and then I was on a plane, and now I'm here. So a lot of traveling, a lot of uncertainty.
You haven't said where you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to disclose where you are?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm officially, finally in London.
The land of plenty.
The land of... Yes. Hurry up then.
The land of Brexit.
Oh, yeah. Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's avoid that topic altogether.
Yes. It's pretty nice here. No complaints so far. Enjoying it. Doing a lot of touristing. Doing a lot of riding the tube on the way to work. I've spent far too much money on headphones the past few days, because not only did I get a new pair of headphones for the office, but also, obviously, I had to get a pair of noise-cancelling ones for when I'm on the tube. So, yeah, I don't like Amazon anymore.
Talking about Amazon, did you see that tweet with the blimp that lets out all of those little drones to do the deliveries on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, that was
That
crazy.
scares me.
That is scary. That's some utopian stuff there, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a world where that's a thing.
I got flashbacks to the series Fringe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what is this alternate reality?
Like, why are we in a Black Mirror right now? I don't need this.
Yes.
So we're making it a theme that relative reproductive is now worldwide. I guess it's my job now to get people in UK interested in it.
Yes.
So we'll have to brainstorm some ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're well, I don't know what I wanted to say there, so let's just cut that.
That's my favorite part of the show.
What, cutting things out that I mess up?
No, just random bits.
I don't know. I'm lost. I am lost tonight. It feels like we haven't recorded in forever.
It is.
It was only 1 week extra that we didn't record, right?
Yeah. So yeah, one we brought out late because I couldn't find time to edit, and then the other one I was on a plane, so we couldn't record. We're not gonna make a habit out of this. I will, now that I've got a steady place to live and or record from. I think it's going to go back to the normal schedule because my brain is also like, how do I do this again?
And also we have an hour difference now, which is good.
Yeah, it's in both of our favors, I think.
Yeah. Because for me, my daughter's asleep, and for you, it's not that late.
Yeah, I can just stay in the office and be that weird guy.
Yeah, so I guess because we skipped a week, that means there's no follow-up from the previous episode, right? I think that's how it works. So we can just carry on.
I think there's supposed to be more follow-up.
Oh, is that how
We didn't go forward in time.
I don't know. I'm confused.
It's fine. I've got no follow-up, really.
I also don't.
Okay, wait. I've got a little bit of follow-up.
Okay.
And that is, I want to apologize for recording in a not 100% fresh state. That will not happen again. But I was caught off guard by basement clubbing. No more basement clubbing. That's a new rule I'm making.
No more, or just not before recording?
In general, no more, but
okay.
Definitely not before recording.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, we touched on the Coda stuff. I guess that's follow-up because we did talk about the Coda doc a little bit on the previous episode. And yeah, so that's in on the Product Hunt Maker Festival 2019 No Code Edition.
Huh.
By the time this goes up, voting would have closed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people can still find it. We'll add a proper link to it on the Relatively Productive website because at the moment it's not linked anywhere. But if you go to Relatively Productive /podcast planner, you can find it there. I think after the competition's done, we can clean up that page a bit and actually make it a thing that we keep around because I think it's a useful resource for other people that want to start podcasts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think /podcast planner can hang around. I'll even link it in the show notes as it is now if people want to see it and we haven't updated it yet. But either way, it's pretty nice to have the doc there and people can see all of the stuff we use.
Yeah.
We use literally the exact same version of the document, except there's one or two things we've taken out which are a bit over the line.
Yeah. So I think as we extend our doc, I'll copy some of that functionality over to that one.
Yeah.
And kind of keep them both on the same level in terms of functionality.
Ooh, yes, more code bases, or should I say no code bases to maintain.
Luckily, it's easy with Coda. It's just copy paste.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how have you been? What you been up to?
My life has been a bit of a disaster this past 2 months. All of my routines.
Let's start this podcast on a happy note then.
Yeah. Okay, what's the happy note? I wasn't involved.
I didn't die.
Yeah, we're both alive. I maintained my reading goal, so there's that.
Okay, and just that.
Yeah, just that. All of the rest, they don't count anymore.
Well, at least you had one constant.
Yes. Well, sort of. There's been 2. It's been the reading goal and the March declaration, which I can finally talk about now that it's no longer March and I'm on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. It involved me ghosting social media as far as I can. As usual, I made a bunch of rules for myself because apparently that's the way I live my life based on previous episodes. And the rules were quite simple. no social media at all or on my phone. I can only post to Twitter using an app called Hootsuite. So I have no idea what people are saying. And then on my iPad, I was allowed to go on Twitter. And on my MacBook, I was allowed to go on Facebook using Google Chrome with a plugin called, I think, Hide Feed or Feed Hider or Disable Feed or something like that. I'll link it in the show notes. So basically, there's no Facebook feed. I can only go directly to people I am friends with, like my mom and my dad, and see what they've been up to. And at first it was really strange, and then I started to realize I'm not constantly thinking about what am I missing or what's going on social media. And then I sort of realized that the reading goal I have, which is 60 minutes every day, has genuinely become my favorite part of the day. Because I don't know why, but something in my brain flipped from, oh, this is difficult, I can't wait to just, have it over with, to, oh, some stimulation, this is awesome. And I've been really happy with that so far. So I have extended the March declaration pretty much indefinitely at this point. I am forced to use Facebook a bit more now that I am abroad from my parents. So they're quite like pressuring me into posting stuff so that they can see what I'm up to in my life, which is fair enough from their perspective. But it's been interesting.
That's very cool. So as your social media usage declines, mine was on an uptick.
Was it? I did not see.
Well, only Twitter.
I have seen the occasional update from your side when I log back in, and it's good. I think the Twitter machine has been valuable for both of us thus far.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got good interactions with people, so there's definite value in it.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. And I think there is one change I need to make, and that's block my browser completely again on my phone, like I always used to. Because at the moment I refuse. So I refuse to install the Twitter app on my phone, but now I use Twitter in the browser. So I need to block the browser on my phone. That's what I need to do.
But do you block the entire browser, or how do you do that? I try to look for something so that I can block Twitter on like my phone's browser, but I don't want to block the whole browser. I just want Twitter gone.
So I've always blocked the whole browser. It's only recently again that I unblocked the browser again. I don't know if there's a way to block just specific sites on iOS.
No, there isn't. But like, how do you Google things if you don't have a browser?
Well, I didn't. I didn't Google things, and life was good.
How do you life?
You ask friends to Google things.
I don't have friends at the moment.
Oh, right, that's true.
There's that.
Damn millennials. What?
I think you're a millennial as well.
I am, but barely, like borderline millennial.
Doesn't matter. It counts. So. There is one more thing I wanted to have a brief discussion about, and that is the notion of a sacred hour or a me hour. And I don't know where I came across this. You might have also come across this in the past, so maybe you can remember. But it's just the idea that every day you spend, well, it doesn't have to be an hour. It could be half an hour, whatever amount of time you like. But I think an hour is good. You spend 1 hour and nothing else matters, right? You turn off your phone, you're unreachable by the world, and you just spend that time making your life better or improving yourself in anything you find interesting. So I used to do this probably, I think 3 years ago at this point. And I stayed with a roommate of mine at the time. And I think somehow via osmosis, the roommate realized what I'm doing and also started trying it out. And I remember the one evening I told him a bit of how it works and, what I do during that hour. And that roommate has since told me that he is a massive fan of this sacred hour. He specifically calls it the 9 to 10, which is also what I used to call it back then, because for my schedule, the 9 to 10 downtime / learning hour just fit in perfectly. And seems like it fits in well for him. So I asked a couple of people, what would you like to hear? People who know me well personally and who know like how I live my life and who can see sort of what I try and what's working and what's not working. Because I think it's sometimes difficult, especially with something like a podcast. You can hear us talk about really cool things, and it just sounds like we're these wise grey wizards with all of these tips and tricks. Yeah, that's not always the case. There are lots of things we try that just doesn't work at all, and then we have to scrap them.
A lot.
The 9 to 10 is something I've sort of strayed off of. I've forgotten about it, but the past few months, not really having set accommodation and doing a lot of traveling and everything is just a mess, I've sort of went back to my roots, and I think that's been one of the stronger things that have sort of changed the way I think about things. And I just wanted to mention, if you're just listening to this and you're just I don't know why you're listening to this if these topics don't interest you. But if you're stumbling across this podcast and you're thinking, I don't think it's for me, these guys sound like they make their lives way too difficult. It doesn't have to be that way. I would personally challenge you to start small, take 15 minutes and then just put everything away and teach yourself something that you want to know. You can make up the rules as you go along. You can say YouTube is allowed, as long as you watch a video about a topic that you've always been interested in, but you've never really spent the time to get into it. Why not try that rabbit hole instead of, just watching, I don't know, something on Netflix or, one of those. I was wondering, can you sort of pinpoint something similar that got you started and that you return to if life is a bit hectic?
Yeah, so there is one thing I came across a while ago, which is similar in the sense of you intentionally block out time to focus on yourself. And that was a thing by Robin Sharma called the 1991 rule, where basically you, for the first 90 minutes of your day, for 90 days, focus on the one thing that will move your life forward or will have the greatest impact on your life moving forward.
I like this.
So that's sort of in the same vein. It's just a little bit more goal orientated, where instead of saying it's vague, just improve your life, decide on one thing that will make the biggest difference in your life. And if that is, for instance, moving to another country, if that is what you want to achieve, for an hour and a half in the morning, every day, focus your efforts on figuring out how you're going to do that for 90 days. And after 90 days, you will for sure have moved closer to that goal. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
Like, if you spend that amount of time on something every single day, you have to make progress on it. And I mean, like, actual effort. This is not saying you're going to do it and then watch YouTube videos for like an hour and a half. Like, actually figure out a plan.
Yeah.
And then if you have the plan, start executing. And that kind of, for me, converted into how I split my year into 13-week goal cycles, because a 13-week goal cycle is 3 months, which is roughly 90 days.
Yeah.
So I have a single goal that I focus on every 3 months, and then I try and achieve that goal. If I don't, then I obviously revise, figure out what's the new plan, and then that's my focus again for the next 3 months. So I split my year into 4 segments, and my year running from my birthday to my birthday, which we've talked about previously, which you do the same, right? Your reviews you do on your birthday.
Yes, basically.
So my year runs from 30th of September till next year, 30 September. So I have 4 quarters that I split my year into, and then I have a single goal per quarter that I work towards, and obviously an overarching theme, and then I always try to aim my quarterly goals towards that theme. And it works great. It's obviously sometimes it's difficult because you lose focus, everyone strays off their plan, and that's life. Life is just constantly trying to get yourself back on the path again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I like that yours is an intentional thing that you do every day. I used to be like that. I have fallen off the wagon a bit recently, so I need to get onto that again. I'm back at the point now where reading for an hour feels like a lot of work, and I envy you for actually enjoying the reading time again, because I used to be like that, and I've kind of lost that, so I need to work on that. I really do.
It has taken a really long time before the enjoyment for reading kicked in. It was a lot of work for a long time. So I don't really follow the notion of streaks, but I would be really sad if it goes away. So I'm keeping the streak going.
Yeah, and I'm struggling with my writing habit as well. It's just I'm not making time for it.
Oh, That's the number one thing I'm disappointed in myself for the past 2 months. So my whole plan for this sabbatical was I was going to write at least a blog post a week. I have written exactly 0 blog posts. I've got 2 drafts, which are nowhere near ready for publishing. And that's it.
Yeah, I also have 2 drafts. The one is pretty close, but the other one has a lot of work left. So maybe I should just make time and finish that. Well, now that I'm not spending all of my time on the Coda doc, I do have some time to write again. It's just like, and now with it being winter and it's raining, and like to actually go out, because I need to go out to a coffee shop to write, because I'm not going to work if I have my PC right next to me. Because then I start writing. I was like, oh, you know what would be cool in the dashboard? I can code it quick. And then I start coding stuff on a relatively tight dashboard, which, by the way, is coming along. It's just that the scope has increased quite a bit.
Oh, no. I wanted to ask, because one of the final points is like, hey, listener, we're finished with this document that we both decided would be better to focus on for now. But now we're right back on the dashboard and it should be almost done.
It's
Guess not
almost done. It is my next focus.
It is. I'm also going to be pouring some solid time into it now.
Great. That's going to motivate me as well to actually work on it again.
Yes.
It's always nice having some API endpoints to provide the way for the UI forward.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I've got some really cool ideas. We just need to draw a line in the sand to get something out, because otherwise I'm going to be tinkering on this forever, which I don't want. I want to get this out.
Yes, definitely.
And the other thing I've been doing, which is something I am kind of sticking to, and that's tracking my caffeine intake, because I think I was overdoing it on the coffee a little bit.
Tell the listeners how many you had.
Well,
peak coffee consumption per day.
Peak coffee consumption for one of the days was 8 cups.
It's a bit high, I think, health-wise. I'm not a health professional, but
it's a tad bit high. Let me check what my... okay, so I cannot get a specific day. I assumed that the app would be able to tell me what the exact day was when I started tracking. Oh, hold on. I can swipe to March. So it looks as if I started the Sunday of the week of the 4th of March.
What?
Hold on. The app doesn't give me the exact day. It just tells me the week, the date range, and then shows me what day I started.
Okay, I'm with you now.
So that would make it the 10th. Okay, so I started on the 10th of March. Since I started tracking, I have had 96 cups of coffee.
In 3 days? That's crazy.
No, not in 3 days.
No, today is the 4th of April for the listeners.
Sorry, dude, I totally did not get that joke now. Since the 10th of March until the 4th of April, I've had 96 cups of coffee.
I don't know what to do with that. It feels like...
That feels like too much.
A lot, but also reasonable. I don't know. Like, it depends if you're drinking double shot, triple shot, or really weak instant coffee. I don't know what to do with this number.
I'm drinking... okay, so this is a mix of really good... that local coffee roastery close to my office. Yeah. So I get quite a bit of coffee from there. And that's good coffee. That's really nice coffee.
Yeah, it is nice.
And I have a flat whites there. So that's what, a double espresso with?
They're beautiful. Yeah, it depends on the place, but usually it's a double.
Mm-hmm. And then when I'm just at the office and I'm lazy, I drink Nescafe espresso. So, I mean, it's not mild coffee. It's, I don't know what the caffeine is on that. I need to probably check. But about 5 cups a day.
That's more like, that feels too much.
On average, yeah. I think the max that's healthy is 4 per day. Or is it...
Who knows with these things, man? One day sugar is healthy, the next day it gives you diabetes, the next day you get cancer. So... Who knows?
That sounds like the cycle of life.
I just usually try and ballpark these things for myself. Like, I think this is too much. I think it's okay. But what are your thoughts? Are you seeing a trend that's going downwards or upwards?
It's a bit all over the place. So in the past, I would just, if I feel like coffee, I make coffee.
Oh yeah.
Now when I feel like coffee, I check, oh, it's only been 20 minutes since my last cup. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer. So then I wait a little bit longer and then I'll have another cup after an hour. So I've kind of been catching myself and then saying, you know what, maybe having another cup straight after this cup's not a good idea. And also there might be a little bit more coffee because sometimes I forget to add the counter and then I'll retroactively, I think I had 2 cups.
Oh no.
Because it's a new habit, and with a new habit, you forget. Like there's no way you're going to remember all the time. So
you have to put like red sticky tape on your coffee cup or something.
Yeah, so there's a little bit more coffee. It's not less. There'll be a little bit more coffee than 96 cups over the past few days. It'll probably be 110 or something if it's it's in that range. So I don't know. I think at the moment I'm not trying to reduce coffee. I'm just trying to be conscious of my intake.
Yeah,
I think that's what I want to achieve out of it. I felt like I was drinking too much coffee, so I decided, well, the only way to know is if I track it. And then I started tracking it, and now I haven't quite decided what this means to me yet.
You're on the verge of knowing.
Yeah, so I think on the next recording I'll be able to give you a more definite answer on whether I'm thinking it's too much or too little. It's definitely not too little, but I don't know if it's too much. Well, we'll see.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's nice to be decisive, right? By the way, this is not stuff I'm putting up anywhere. This is just for me. The app I'm using doesn't even have an API, which goes against every single fiber of my being. But I couldn't find a decent tracking app with an API. But yeah, so that's the only real things that I've been changing around my system or tracking things or anything. Other than that, it's just been work, and
nice.
Oh, and the Coda doc. That was a big chunk of my life.
Yes.
I actually haven't checked how many hours. Maybe I should check that quick. Actually, I don't know.
No, I think you should. I think it'll be good.
Live reaction. Let's see.
Live reactions on the podcast.
Let's see how much time I spent on this. Excuse the typing. Clickety clackety clack.
I'll play elevator music here.
Sorry. Oh, I don't know if I want to say.
I think you should, but don't feel pressured.
In total, I spent 42 hours and 8 minutes on the Coda doc.
See, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel is the resident Coda expert among the two of us. I think he knows enough to go work for them now.
Because we started on this before Maker Festival was announced, because we were already on Coda.
Yeah, we were pretty much ready to switch over before the competition started. And then I think you linked to me that the competition's happening, and we both had the same idea of, yes, let's go.
Yeah, let's double down on it. Just there's one more timer here that looks a little bit suspicious. I need to just check this one quick. No, that could be right.
Have you made peace with the timer?
Yeah, that's the amount of time I spent. Yeah, it's 42 hours.
That is exactly the effect that our listeners will have if they've been doing their homework. You will not believe the amount of time.
Yeah, but it's been since the 6th of March.
That's quite a while, yeah.
So I spent a week on it in total, over a month.
Wow, that now it sounds a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of it in days. I mean, 2 days. Like, no. Working hours. Like, oh, wait, a week. Whoa.
Yeah, it's a week in working hours.
Crazy.
The ROI in this better be worth it.
You enjoyed it. Don't lie.
Thanks for stopping by, dear listener. I've been torn lately. With everything that's going on, I feel like we've not been giving you enough value. I can't with a clear conscience ask you for a review if I'm not making sure that you get all the value you deserve. So I wrote you a haiku to make up for it and hopefully add bucket loads of value in this non-sponsored ad. Listener, listen. A review will help a lot. Ad done. Time for coffee. Yeah, so on your rule thing, I told you a bunch of times now, this is how things work with me. Things need to click in my brain. Puzzle pieces drop occasionally, and then things start to make sense. And I subscribe to Rescue Time's newsletter, which, by the way, is a really good newsletter. It's written by a guy called Jory. He wrote this article, which was in the newsletter. about, I'm just bringing it up here quick. I'll link it to you as well.
I will have a look.
It's called Mental Strategies, Long-Term Goals or something.
Ooh. Am I looking at number 4?
Yes, looking at number 4. So,
okay.
Ignore urgent tasks by creating if-then statements for your life. Right. So this got me thinking of the rule, right? And your rule, in theory, is if-then statements.
Yes.
A large chunk of it is, if this is true, then I'm allowed to do this.
If bored and free time.
Exactly. It's basically...
Yeah, that's right.
If-else statements for your life. If-then.
If-then else.
Yeah, if-then else. And I kind of liked how they structured this stuff here as well. So some of the examples here is like, if I get work emails after 5 p.m., then I'll leave them for tomorrow morning. That's a perfectly valid rule to apply in your life.
Yeah.
So now I'm already using the word rule now, but that just ties in more with the rule. So it's rule sets, and rule sets in theory are if-then statements that you define for yourself.
Yes.
So like I said, puzzle piece. This is not the whole thing yet, but this is starting to get me on a train of thought that's moving towards something that could potentially be something more in the future.
It's also making me think the if-then notion gives it some sort of a concreteness, I want to say. It makes it feel like there's logic that can be distilled from the rule, and then it can be built into something.
There could be a formula. There could be a rule set.
Yes.
You know, there's there can be structure around this. So this is an itch I'm going to keep scratching.
Oh, I like this.
It's getting somewhere. I have a lot of thoughts on this that I don't want to share yet because I haven't quite formulated them yet, but it's getting somewhere. I'm thinking that long term, this could actually be something we can provide as part of the dashboard. In terms of something we can actually code and give people access to and can be trackable and actionable on. So I'm excited.
That's very cool. That is very cool.
Yeah. So I just wanted to drop that in there because I don't want you to think that I'm not thinking about the rule thing. It has been in the back of my mind.
No, I know there's incubation.
Yeah, there's actually not much that I'm willing to say on this further.
Well, I can tell you now that the effective parts of the rule have been very much reduced the last while, since there haven't really been distractions,
right?
And there hasn't really been any self-improvement. There's only been reading, and I recently started doing Swedish again because some people in the office I work at now actually speak Swedish. So I've got people to practice with daily, which is awesome.
That's nice.
So I'm really excited about that for a change. And yeah, that's it. I am sitting next to what can only be termed as a bag full of hope, in that in between work ending and we starting to record this podcast, I went to a running store and I bought a whole bunch of gear. So I want to start running again.
Interesting.
Because not working out for the past 2 months has made me feel really bad about myself in some weird kind of a way, especially since I've been somewhat active for the past 3 years almost. And it's just been too much. So I'm going to start running again. I'm going to do it really slowly. And I honestly hope with every fiber of my being that I don't overdo it like I always do and get a stress fracture or shin splints or just some other running injury. I'm going to start slow, but I really want to get back into it. And I've been wondering, what have you been doing after your chiropractor massage pain sessions?
I signed up for a gym membership today.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah, so I've been doing my stretches and stuff, but now I need to really start working on my core because I need to fix my core before I can start running again, because my core there's no core. That's why I got the running injury.
It's not that bad.
Well, I mean, I'm not overweight or anything. I just don't have any core strength. Like at all. That's why I got the running injury, because I wasn't running properly, because my core was doing none of the work. And my back was compensating, and it's a mess. So now I've stopped running, and I'm just gonna do core strength things and maybe do a little bit of weight training, but I'm going to take it super slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I signed up with a friend today, so we're an accountability buddy.
Ah, yes, that's good. That's why I'm mentioning it here on the podcast. You guys will be my accountability buddies.
Yeah, so Monday, officially, I'm starting.
Nice.
There's a little piece in this planning doc, right?
Oh, yeah?
That's been nagging at me. It piqued my interest, and I need you to put me out of my misery. I really want to know what this is all about that you put into this doc.
Yes, dear listener, I am going to start a new tradition on Relatively Productive, and that is we are going to start having clubs. And as the founder of the club, I will make the first official club the Observation Club. And the whole idea behind the Observation Club is, I think both myself and Daniel want to be more mindful in our daily lives. So as part of the Observation Club, the goal is that we are going to discuss, or at least I am going to try to discuss, the thing from the last recording to this recording, so in between episodes, that I've observed and that has been the most interesting or the most sort of thought-invoking, or just, the coolest thing you've noticed. And my first one is a really simple one, but it just blew me away and it was completely unexpected. And that is, if you live in a country where the servers of all of the services are really close to where you are, it is a completely different experience. So we've raved on about Siri shortcuts and using them to start toggle timers. I've got blog posts about it. I'm pretty sure Daniel's soon going to have more blog posts about it.
Yeah.
And, we love these things. They're awesome. They make life so much easier, especially if you track time. And using them to track time past 6 months, I've sort of gotten used to the speed at which they execute,
Yeah.
I use them for my daily reading. So it's scroll down, push the button. Okay, the timer's running. I want to stop it, push the button. Okay, yes, it stopped. There's a noticeable delay. Here in sunny London, there is none of that. It is push the button, it's done.
No way.
It has just blown me away. Every single time I push the start timer toggle shortcut I have, it's immediately done. So I have to go, did it work? Push it again. So now I've got so many double timers starting and stopping because I cannot believe how quick it is. It's just like, no, what do you mean? I'm supposed to wait a second before you say it's done. And I'm going to try and do a screenshot video thingy. And if I figure it out, I'll have Daniel do one from that side so you can compare the life I used to live to the one now, and it has just blown me away. So that is my observation for this week's Observation Club.
I guess it's official then. I need to move to the UK.
Or they have to put a server right next to your house.
That would be nice.
I genuinely thought last night in my mental preparation for this episode, if I can turn how fast this is into a business idea. I'm like, what if I make a cache server for Toggle and then I put it in South Africa somewhere just so everyone else has got this speed to Siri shortcuts, because it's just incredible. I cannot believe I used to live in Stone Ages, basically.
I'm jealous. I'm genuinely jealous.
So that's my observation. It's not something big. It's just from everything I thought I was going to experience coming to this country and living in a massive city like this, I did not think it's going to be how fast my toggle shortcuts go.
Okay. You're making me think that I might have to spin up a local South African server as a little proxy server to Toggle.
Yeah, I was this close to starting it last night, and then I was like, I don't even live there anymore.
What's the use? Okay, so now I need to do it. Okay, cool. I'll do it. Okay, I need to do this.
I'm now an ideas guy.
Yeah. And I'm the execution guy. Wait, hold on. When this happened?
Oh, tables have turned, I see.
Oh, that's very cool. I'm happy for you, and I'm very jealous. Really.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This isn't a very inclusive observation club.
I'll have something about braaiing on the next observation club then.
Oh, yes. Or the sun.
Or the sun.
Anyway, for next episode, I would like you to join the observation club. Yes. And maybe just keep an eye out for something that's surprising.
Yeah, and we can do a fitness check-in. since we're both on the getting back in shape bandwagon again now.
The bag full of dreams. Yeah, look, it's probably going to make a lot of noise. Look. Yep, a lot of noise.
I'll get some observations. It's nice. It's going to force me to be a little bit more mindful. It ties in with my gratitude as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Usually my gratitude forces me to be observant. Well, it does. That's what gratitude is. It's hard to be grateful for things that you don't observe. And then hopefully we'll have an update on the dashboard.